Okay, so I'm going to be using a specialty drop D flat tuning, like a simplified version of a drop D flat. I suppose if you really wanted to do exactly what they were doing here, you would do a drop D and then take everything a half step further, so you're in a full D flat. But if you don't want to mess with, having to change every single string, we can get away with just dropping the low E down to the D flat or C sharp and keep every other string the same, and it works pretty darn good. So just rolling with that. So we'll have the D flat, A, D, G, B, E. All right, and we'll kick it off here with kind of just this initial verse and first part of the outro riff, and it's pretty straightforward, just a couple chords. So we want to start with our big open D flat power chord. So with this tuning here, we just basically hit the open low D flat string, and then we do a power chord under it. So we got the 4 on the A, and then we do a 6 on the D and the G here. Right, and basically you want to do like hit the chord, wait like a beat or so, and then just hit it again. Something like that, and just let it ring. All right, and then we move to our next chord, which is an E flat major 7 without the third. Sounds wild, not really too crazy. For this tuning that we're in here, we're going to make something that kind of looks like you would do like a G chord. It's basically, you just need to offset the, where you would have like a drop D, you just hit that, just bar it. But now we're D flat, so you got to offset just one. So we got second fret on the low D flat string, and then we want ones on the A and the D. That'll give us the power chord, the E flat power chord. And initially that's what we hit. We just hit the 2 D flat and the 1 on the A and D. Hit it, let it ring a few beats, and then we want this major 7 stuff under it. So basically we would just kind of hit like that 1 on the D, and then we want this 3G and 3B under it. And it's basically like 1, 2, 3. Like give that a few strums. And basically that whole section is just those 2 chords in that style. Okay, and like I said, that's also what's happening at the outro when the soloing's happening, the first part of the outro there. And so we would go through that, a good 4 times or so, and then we do this, what I would call the second part of the verse, and basically it just zooms up to an F sharp sus2, and for this tuning here we're basically just doing 5 on the low D flat, 4 on the A, 6 on the D and the G, and with this we come on up to it and we just right on tempo, like down strumming, quarter notes here, and we hit it up maybe like, I don't know, 16 times or so. Maybe like 13. I don't know. It's hard. It's a weird count. So just look at the tab and you can count it out there. Or if you know the song in your head, you can feel it out just by strumming it. From there, we do 2 frets up at the G sharp sus2. It's that same shape we had, just bump it up 2 frets. So we got the 7 D flat, 6 A, 8 on the D and G. And with this, it's like 4 hits. And then just come off to our open low D flat. So open D flat string, 4 on the A, 6 on the D and G. And with this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that kind of gets right into the next section, which I would call this maybe the pre-chorus. It's just a little chromatic walk-up. We start with our open D flat power chord, move down to this D power chord, which this tuning is just first fret on the D flat, open A and D, and it's just a 1 hit, like a little beat there. And that leads us right into our E flat power chord, the 2 D flat with the 1 A and D. And with this, we hit it, and there's kind of like a slight hesitation, and then we just start strumming on that, maybe about, 13 times or so. Alright, now we take that, slide it on up to another sus shape, so 10 on the D flat, 9 A, 11 on the D and G, it's a B sus2. And with this one, we strum that out about 16 times. And I would call this the chorus because this really says overrated, so I would say this is the chorus. Okay, do that about 16 times, come off to the open D flat power chord. Just hit it once and let it ring. And then we do this fun little E flat to D flat kind of pull off. So just hit like the E flat power chord, the 1 D flat with the open A and D. And basically we just kind of want to like hit it and just pull off of it and then do a couple D flat like palm muteds. Alright, and we do that about 3 times. Alright, and then we just stay on the E flat, the 1 on the D flat string, open A and D. We hit that about 5 times. Alright, and then from there, we start the bridge pattern, I would call it. And with this, there's kind of a run through that we do a few times, and then we kind of do some slight alterations for the last couple times we go through it. So we'll start with this open D flat power chord, the open 4 and 6er. Okay, let's just hit it. It's like 1 beat. And then we just move to our E flat, the 2 with the 1s. And with this, hit it a couple times. Do a little open D flat string. Back to the E flat, the 2 and 1s. Back to the open. Back to the 2 and 1s. Okay, so it was. Alright, and we just take that power chord shape up to 5 with the 4s for the F sharp power chord. Hit it, hold it just a moment there, and then we do this little bend and release on it. Alright. And then we just move it down to an E power chord now, so just 3 and 2s. And then we do this back and forth. The 5 with the 4s, 3 and 2s, 5 with the 4s. Alright, and then just start the whole thing over. Alright, and we would go through that a few times, and then there's a couple like alternate versions that happened the last couple times. The first one, start it just the same. Alright, and then we do an open, and then we just cut, rest there. We don't do the the hit up to 5 with the bends. It's a cut right there. Everything kind of drops out for a second. So, and then we hit our 5 with the 4s, the F sharp there. And with that, we hit it, and then just a couple more strums, and then we do the 3-5, 3-5 back and forth. Okay, so it's a little different thing. All right, and after that, the final alteration, the little final time through, it's just we kind of hold some chords instead. We do the kind of start the same, open D flat, twos with the ones a couple times, open twos with the ones. And once we hit that, we just hit it and let it ring. And then we do 5 and 4s, hit it, let it ring, 3 and 2s, let it ring. And then from there, we would start our very first riff there, that initial verse. All right. Okay, we do that, and then all the wild soloing is happening. But then at the very end, we do kind of a concise, condensed version of the pre-chorus going into the chorus. So it's that open, first fret, second fret, the D flat, D, E flat. All right, and then we hit that little hesitation, and then we strum on the 2 with the 1s. But here we only strum on them about 6 times. Then we zoom up to our 10, 9, 11s, the B sus, and with that we hit that. We zoom up to it, hit it about 5 times. And then we just start it all over. So it's kind of a concise version of what we've seen before. And you just end with the open first fret to 2. Something like that, right? And then the song cuts. Other than that, you should be all set. Let her rip.